Today we're going to be taking a look at a 2024 Toyota Camry XSE Hybrid. Let's get started. Most people, myself included, thought that the 2024 model year was finally going to be the year that we get the redesigned Camry, but it looks like we're going to have to wait until the 2025 model year because this 24 right here has the same body style that we've had since 2018. Under the hood of this 24 Camry XSE Hybrid, we have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine that makes about 208 net combined horsepower with its hybrid system. That 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine is paired with a eCVT transmission, and this Camry here is rated at an average of 46 miles per gallon. That's going to be 44 in the city and 47 on the highway. The 2024 Camry XSE Hybrid starts at $34,295, and this one here as spec'd has a total MSRP of $36,614. In this overview, I'm going to take you guys on a walk around of the exterior of this Camry, and then we're going to jump inside and talk about some of the features. So starting here with the exterior, as usual, we're going to talk about this paint color first. This right here is Toyota's Wind Chill Pearl color. It's a super pearly white that Toyota offers, and this particular Camry XSE came with a $500 factory option to give it the two-tone paint. So we have a Wind Chill Pearl base, and up at the top we have Midnight Black Metallic. Coming to the front of the Camry, let's start by talking about these headlights. These right here are LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. They're also automatic headlights. Moving along to the front, there is a blue Toyota emblem because this is a hybrid, and that's surrounded by this aggressive front grille that has this honeycomb sport mesh pattern to it. This Camry XSE also doesn't get any fog lights. Over where you would have fog lights, you just have more of that sporty pattern. Moving up from the front, let's take a look at this hood, which does raise up a little bit in the center to give it more of an aggressive appearance. And going up from there, we've got our wipers right here. These do not have a de-icer function on them, so there is going to be no button inside to de-ice these if they're ever frozen to your windshield. And at the top of the windshield, you can see there is a front-mounted camera. That's going to help control some of the safety systems in the car. This Camry is equipped with Toyota Safety Sense 2.5 Plus, which is not the most up-to-date version of Toyota Safety Sense. Some of the cars like the Corolla and the Prius have gotten TSS 3.0, but next year when the Camry gets redesigned, it's probably also going to get TSS 3.0. Moving along to the side, we have these 19-inch gloss black alloy wheels, and the tire size here is 235/40 R19. Taking a look at the side mirror, this one here is painted in Midnight Black Metallic because of that two-tone option. There is a turn signal indicator built into the side, and we also have blind spot monitor as standard on the XSE. Surrounding our windows is a lot of gloss black trim, and we also have gloss black trim here between the front and rear windows. That is so nice to see because gloss black over chrome just makes every car look better. The front door handles get keyless entry, so as long as the key is nearby, we can go ahead and tap right here on these lines to lock the Camry, and as long as the key is nearby, we can put our hand behind the handle and that's gonna unlock it. The side of this Camry also has a small little side skirt poking out to make it look just a bit sportier. Back here behind the rear door, we have our fuel door, which to open this up, you have to go inside the Camry and push on a button. You can't just tap to open this up like you can in most modern cars, but this Camry takes 15.8 gallons of fuel. It's rated at 87 octane, and that should get you over 700 miles driving this thing from full at 46 miles per gallon. I think the number's somewhere around 726 miles if you take it down to empty. At the very top, we have a black shark fin antenna because of this two-tone color option, but if you don't have the two-tone, all of these things right here, like the side mirrors and this shark fin antenna, are going to be color matched to the body of the car. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear of this 2024 Camry XSE Hybrid now, and starting here in the very center, we do have another one of these blue Toyota emblems to tell you that it is a hybrid. Just above that, there is a black spoiler. The SE models and the XSE models both get spoilers. Because this one has the two-tone option, it is a black spoiler. Right underneath that Toyota emblem, we have Camry spelled out letter by letter in chrome. It sort of doesn't match the theme of this car. It's very weird that Toyota didn't make the badges on this Camry XSE Hybrid also black, but we have Camry spelled out letter by letter over there. Here on the right side, it says XSE Hybrid. We've got our taillights over here, and they also have this little black piece of plastic. It doesn't really do anything but add to a little bit of styling to make these taillights look a little bit more aggressive. Down to the rear bumper now, we're gonna take a look at this rear diffuser. Now this rear diffuser is only available on Camry SE and XSE models. If you get an LE or an XLE, it's just got some boring black plastic down here, but we have this diffuser with these lines going down from it to make it look a little bit more aggressive. And this XSE Hybrid has 2 exhaust tips hanging from the left side. It's not like the gas XSE models, which have 4 exhaust tips, 2 on each side. Just above that exhaust tip, we have a red reflector right there and another red reflector over here on the other side. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trunk of this 2024 Camry. So to open it, you can either use the key or you can go ahead and push the button right over here beside the Y. That's gonna pop it open, and it's gonna open up all the way for you, unlike the Corolla that we took a look at earlier this week. Let's go ahead and see this cargo space over here. The Camry has 15.1 cubic feet of cargo space, which is 2 more cubic feet than the Corolla that we saw earlier this week. We can also fold down our rear seats back over here, and inside this cargo box is going to be the rubber floor mats that are going to go into the front of this Camry later on. And underneath the floorboard of this Camry XSE, we do also get a spare tire as well as some tools. Next up, we're going to jump inside and take a look at the interior of this Camry. As usual, we're going to start off with the door panels. The door panels looks like they are made up of some soft touch plastics and hard touch plastics down below. There is also a little bit of this cockpit red interior showing on the door panel, and we have one of our 6 interior speakers on the door panel as well. Just right next to that speaker is a place where you can place your water bottle or some small storage items down here. Just above that, there's another small storage pocket, and we have auto up-down windows on all 4 corners, a window lock button, lock and unlock for the whole Camry, and our mirror controls. The door handle also has a bit of silver styling to it, and that silver sort of extends out almost to the end of this door panel. Let's take a look next at these interior seats. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the cockpit red color. It's only available on the XSEs, and this right here is real leather. It's not the Softex leather that Toyota uses in some of their other cars, which is that fake vegan leather. This right here is real leather used on Camry XSE models. And we do also have power front seats as well as a power passenger seat. Only the driver's seat is going to get the lumbar support, however, but the passenger seat is still power adjusted, which is nice to see. And even though this particular Camry isn't optioned with the ventilated seats, we still have perforation in the seats so that Toyota can just use one seat whether you have ventilated seats or not. Before we fully get in, let's take a look at some of the buttons and releases we have over here beside the steering wheel. Starting from the bottom, there's a release for the hood. We also have a little storage pocket right here where you can put some smaller objects. Then there's a small row of buttons right here where we have our automatic headlights, traction control off. We can hold down right here to open up the trunk and hold right here to open up the fuel door. We can also release the steering wheel right here so that we can adjust that position, set it back to where we want it. There's a couple of other buttons over here. We have an odometer, trip reset, as well as brightness control for the center gauge display. And then we have an air vent over here, which is surrounded by this brushed aluminum look. Sitting inside of the 2024 Camry XSE now, let's go ahead and start by taking a look at this steering wheel right here, which is leather wrapped, and it has some stitching right here on the inside. It's a very nice feel. When they're brand new, the Toyota leather steering wheels have this very silky, soft feeling to them. In the center, we have our airbag and horn. On the left side, we have some buttons to help us control the 7-inch multi-information display that we have between the 2 gauges. At the bottom row, we have some audio and multimedia controls. And on the right side over here, we have some of our safety systems like the radar cruise control and the lane depart assisting features. This XSE also has some paddle shifters behind the steering wheel as well. On the left side, we have automatic headlights. On the right side, we're going to have our wipers. And then also just behind the wheel, we do have a blue start button. Let's go ahead and get this Camry turned on and see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and take a look at our gauges next. So on the left side over here, we have our hybrid system indicator. This is going to let us know what mode we're driving in, whether we're in charge, eco, or power as we drive. Just below that, we have our engine temperatures. And on the right side, we have our speedometer and fuel gauge indicator over there. In the center, there is a 7-inch multi-information display. This is going to display all sorts of information as you're driving, and you can configure this using the buttons on the steering wheel. So right now we're taking a look at fuel economy. We can also go ahead and take a look at driving support, audio, energy monitor, and our settings as well. Each one of these menus also has a couple different pages so that you can set it up so it's exactly how you like it when you're driving. Next up, we're going to shift our focus over to this 9-inch center infotainment display that we have over here. This software hasn't been updated since the 2018 model year. Yes, the screen sizes have gotten bigger over the years, but this is the same old software on this screen that we've had since 2018. It does support wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto, but it doesn't support wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, like some of the newer Toyotas do, and even some of the old Toyotas that have gotten, like mid-cycle updates. The Camry is one of the only ones that's still holding on to this old design software, and it's just further proof that we're gonna get a redesigned and updated Camry next year. Hopefully that one will actually give us the newer software, and it's probably gonna give us some wider displays. But it's not all just negativity for this screen. One of the pros that we have with this screen is that we still have a volume and a tune knob. A lot of these knobs are going away as we're moving towards the newer software and going towards larger screens. And we also still have shortcut buttons over here beside the screen. So if you just want to quickly go into audio, you can go ahead and click right here. That's something that's sort of going away as we're getting more touch controls in cars, and we're making the screens bigger and going away with some of the physical buttons. Moving down below that 9-inch screen, we have our 2 air vents over here with our emergency lights in the center. And just down below that, we have our dual zone climate control, so we can have a different temperature for the driver and a different temperature for the passenger side. Down below that, we also have a wireless phone charger right here on the Camry XSEs. You can slide this back if you don't want to use the wireless charger and want some storage instead. You can just slide that back and put some items over here. We also have a 12-volt power outlet back here, as well as a USB Type A port. Moving along, we have 2 cup holders over here just right next to our drive mode selector. We've got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport mode. Just down below that, there is eco, normal, and sport mode. We have brake hold, EV mode, and our electronic parking brake, which does go up and down automatically. Just beside that, we do have buttons for the driver and passenger side heated seats. Like I said, this particular Camry didn't come equipped with the ventilated seats, but we do have heated seats as standard. And let's go ahead and take a look at our center console next. This center console is huge in comparison to that Corolla that we saw earlier this week. Inside over here, we have a USB Type A port and a USB Type C port. Next up, we're going to go ahead and jump into the passenger side of this 2024 Camry XSE Hybrid. Starting here with the door panel, we have more of the same stuff that we saw over on the driver's side, another one of those speakers. And let's go ahead and jump inside this interior right now. Sitting in the passenger side now, the passenger side also gets their own side vent over here, and that leads into this really cool pattern that I don't even know how to describe. Maybe somebody in the comments can help me describe this pattern, but it's got all these different X's and lines inside them, and it has this sort of like aluminum color to it, but it's also like a bit of copper and gray mixed in there as well. That leads into those climate controls that we talked about earlier. Let's go ahead and take a look at this glove box. This glove box does not have a lock on it, and for the size of this car, it's a little bit small. I'd compare it a lot to like the Corolla glove box. It's maybe a little bit wider, but this glove box does not go very deep at all. Let's go ahead and move upwards and take a look at this rear view mirror over here. This is an auto dimming rear view mirror, and it also has these 3 buttons down below to help you open up your garage remotes and gates. Up from that, we have a sunglass holder up here, as well as some light controls and our emergency SOS button. The Camry XSE Hybrid does not have a standard sunroof. So if you get one that's not very optioned out, you're not gonna get a sunroof up here. Let's go ahead and take a look at these visors. Looks like we have a mirror, but no light. They can swivel around. You can't extend them all the way, but you do have this extra bit of coverage if you need it right over here. And the last thing that we're gonna do is jump into the back and take a look at these rear seats. So even the rear seats back here get this perforation design into them, which is cool to see. The rear seats don't have heated or ventilated functions, but we still get these nice design seats. We do have child seat latch points on the outer seats, and the inner seat over here, the middle seat that everybody hates, you can fold down if nobody's sitting there for an armrest and some extra cup holders. We do also get pockets behind the driver and the passenger seat, 2 air vents back here, and no USB ports. So that's gonna do it for our overview of the 2024 Camry XSE Hybrid. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll leave an end card right here if you wanna see the 2024 Corolla LE video that I just did earlier this week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Oh yeah, one last thing I forgot to mention about this car. The reverse camera still sucks.